When a portal opens in the Pacific, allowing monsters to enter our world, it's up to the human race to fight back and create their own monsters.
We always thought alien life would come from the stars. But it came from deep beneath the Pacific.
What the hell is going on?
The first kaiju made land in San Francisco. The second attack hit Manila. And then the third one hit Cabo. And then we learned this was not going to stop. In order to fight monsters, we created monsters of our own. We needed a new weapon.
Pacific Rim is a new film by Guillermo del Toro. I'm sorry, I probably pronounced that completely wrong. He did films like the Hellboy films. He wrote the screenplay, I believe, for the Hobbit films. He was originally going to direct the Hobbit. He also did Pan's Labyrinth, which is a foreign film. So you know, he's quite a big director. He's a very visual director. He likes his big explosions, his action sequences. Now, in some ways, I was sort of skeptical to see this film when I first heard about it, because he did do the Hellboy films, and I wasn't a fan of the first Hellboy. I haven't seen the second one because I didn't like the first one. In fact, I don't think I actually made it through the first film. It just wasn't my thing, and I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was a bit slow. But when I first saw the trailer for Pacific Rim, I thought, wow, this is perfect. It was something I've just been looking for. Like, it's been so long since I've just seen like a you know, mindless monster movie where robots and monsters fight. And you know, that's really all I went to go see it for, was to see monsters beat the shit out of robots and vice versa. And let me tell you, I was not let down. The overall plot is these portal opens in the Pacific, allowing all these monsters called the kaiju to enter and raise havoc and destroy things. They're just mindless monsters. So the human race builds these giant robots called the Jaegers, I think. I probably pronounced that wrong too. Which are these giant monsters basically just made to, you know, fight back. The film takes place about 10-15 years in the future, which makes it believable, meaning that, you know, the first attack was, I think they said 2014, something like that, and it makes sense that, you know, it's taken them almost 10 years to, you know, create these monsters and make them better, which is more believable than just overnight, you know, suddenly we've got these giant monsters and we can you can kill them and all this. You know, so yeah, I thought that was a good little piece to add in there. It made it more believable. Overall, I really love the action. I love seeing the monsters destroy the robots. I like seeing the giant action sequences. CGI was spot on. Like, there's CGI can be either good or bad. Like, if you did it right, I think it's good. In this case, like, there was so much going on and so much detail had gone into it. Even little stuff going on in the background had so much work done. But I have to say, I didn't expect much from the story. I literally just wanted to see that. I wanted to see monsters destroying stuff. But saying that, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this. I actually got very invested in the story. Like, halfway through, at first it was a bit, you know, slow, you know, just, you know, dialogue that I didn't really care about. And then when they were saying about the portal stuff, I was thinking, actually, I'm really invested in this. I want to see, you know, where they've come from, what created these monsters. And I did actually get, you know, I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, and I think this was probably down to the fact that I went in with such low-ish expectations to the story that, you know, it wasn't such a bad storyline that made it better. But overall, I thought it was pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. The main protagonist is played by Charlie Hunnam. Yeah, he was alright, he was pretty good, he got the job done. He was sort of like, he's not one of these characters you will particularly remember, but at the end of the day, he was still, you know, he was pretty good. He kind of reminded me of Chris Pine, just in the way he looked and his stance. But, you know, overall, it was really good, and I thought he got the job done, and he was, you know, he was a good actor, so it all worked out. This film, for me, had what Transformers couldn't give me, which had a good plot, like a good solid plot that I enjoyed. With Transformers, I no offence to Transformers fans, but Megan Fox, you know, that's all I can say. If anything, this film is like the adult Power Rangers. I was actually really surprised to see Charles Day in this film, the guy from Horrible Bosses. I just wouldn't put him in a film like this, but it worked. It gave it a bit more of an upbeat kind of vibe, because he's so funny, and you know, it worked. Like, normally it would feel sort of forced putting someone like him in this film, but for his character it just worked, and it, you know, it was funny seeing, you know, how he reacted to stuff, and overall he was really good in it. He was a scientist that worked with a guy called Bern Gorman, who was also in The Dark Knight Rises. He was in what else? Torchwood. He was in Game of Thrones. Like, he's an English actor who's recently sort of gotten bigger, but he was really good in that. He played a really good character, and they played well off each other. And it was such a different character than what Byrne normally plays, and I thought he worked really well, and it just shows what a good actor he is. Overall, the film is just what I wanted. It had action, it had a great plot, it had robots smashing into monsters, had great science fiction. It was everything I wanted, and possibly more. I give Pacific Rim 4.5 out of 5. So what do you think about Pacific Rim? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it what you expected? Did you like the story? Leave your comments below.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door. Today we are canceling the apocalypse.
It is pretty cool.
Pacific Rim.